field of introduction. With the growing developments in the field of mathematics and mathematics, modeling robotics has come a long way. From an iron piece that could move only a few inches, there are now machines capable of jumping from high-rise buildings, distancing landmines, performing operations, and troubleshooting. What is robotics? The word robotics is used to collectively define a field in engineering that covers the mimicking of various human characteristics, sound concepts in many engineering disciplines is needed for working in this field. It finds its uses in all except of our history. The term robots got pronounced way back in the 1950s when Carl Capek, in his play Rosmus Universal Robots, denoted the birth of a superior race that had intelligence similar to that of humans. Later on, Isaac Asimov introduced his laws of robots, and finally, Eric Ellenberg, who is considered as the father of robotics, introduced real-time robots to the world. The three laws of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Why robotics? Speed, it can work a robot must protect its own exist long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Efficiency, accuracy, adaptability, speed, it can work hazard dangerous environment to perform repetitive tasks. Types of robots: mobile robots, rolling robots, walking robots, stationary robots, autonomous robots, remote control robots, pre-programmed robots, humanoid robots, teleoperate robots, mobile robots. Mobile robots are able to move. Usually, they perform tasks such as search areas. A primary example, it is the Mars Explorer's specific designed to roam the Mars surface. Mobile robots are a great help to such collapse building for cervix. Mobile robots are used for tasks where people cannot go either because it is too dangerous or because people cannot reach the area that needs to be searched. Rolling robots. Rolling robots have wheels to move around. These are the type of robots that can quickly and easily Search move around. However, they are only useful in flat areas. Rocky terrains give them a hard time. Flat terrains are their territory. Walking robots. Robots on legs are usually boost in when the trains in rocky and difficult to enter with wheels. Robots have a hard time shifting balance and keep them from tumbling. That's why most robots with have at least four of them. Usually they have six legs or more. Even when they lift one or more legs, they still their balance. Development of legged robots is often modeled after insect and of crawfish. Stationary, stationary robots are not only used to explore an area or imitate a human being. Most robots perform repetitive tasks without ever moving an inch. Most robots are working in industry settings, especially dull and repeating tasks are suitable for robots. A robot never grows tired. It will perform its duty day and night without ever complaining. In case the tasks at hand are done, the robot will be reprogrammed too. Autonomous autonomous robots are self-supporting or in other words self-contained in a way they rely on their own brains. Remote control robots are robots that is teleoperated by any a robot that is teleoperated by any transmitting device, which in most cases is a remote. These robots are referred as remote control robot. There is a direct interaction between the human and the robot here, and mostly humans have the complete control over the robot's action. Pre-programmed robots. Pre-program- Pre-programmed robots are used for simple and repetitive tasks like wedding, assembling part, or just picking components and moving them to other destinations. Pre-programmed robots are mainly employed to perform tasks faster, efficiently, and accurately than humans. These pre-programmed robots can work extensively without any issues. Humanoid robots. You might have seen humanoid robots in movies like Idym and I. Robot that looks the same as humans and behave like humans. They are called humanoid robots. They can do everything just like humans. For instance, they can speak, run, walk, jump, and think independently. Hence, robotics, Sophia, or Boston Dynamics Atlas are the two prominent humanoid robots ever made. Teleoperated robot. Teleoperated robots are type of robots controlled by humans with a remote or a controller. The instructions are sent to the robot in real time, and these robots are capable of following the instruction. Teleoperated robots can work in extreme graphical conditions, weather, and circumstances. Application of robots and robot. One of the advantages of robots continuously without making errors. Challenging environment conditions like space, underwater, high temperature zone, radioactive zone, etc. Also, robots are used in the spaces of radioactive materials, bomb detection, and deactivate where humans cannot survive. Components of robots. पूरी रूपा मैम से बात कर लो ना। अरे हमारी मीटिंग चल रही, जल्दी आओ। बाय बाय तो काटते रहे। स्ट्रक्चर. The structure of a robot is usually mostly mechanical and can be called a pneumatic chain. The chain is formed of links, actors, its muscles, and joints, which can allow one or more degree of freedom. Power source. Suitable power supply is needed to run the motors and associated circuitry. Typical power requirement range from 3 volt to 24 volt DC. To 20 volt AC supply must be modified to batteries can also be used on robots. Robots are driven by different motors: DC motor, stepper motors, servo motors. Actuators are the muscles of a robot. They parts which convert stored energy into movement. The most popular actuators are electric motors. Manipulation. Robots which must work in the real world require some way to manipulate object, pick up, modify, destroy, or otherwise have an effect. Thus, the hands of a robot are often referred to as it. Some manipulators are mechanical, mechanical gripper, vacuum gripper, general purpose effector. Advantage. Revolution in medical science and healthcare system. New and wide scope is education and training. A good help in nuclear industry. Used tremendously in sports activities, play and role of efficient assistant in research and development science can very well handle household business. Future prospects. Scientists say that it is possible that a robot brain will exist by 225. Renault Wiggins has suggested that a moment may come when computers and robots are smarter than humans. In 2009, some robots acquired various forms of autonomy, including being able to find power source on their own. The Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence has researched on this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Ma'am has talked about introduction of robots, history, why robotics, no confliction, efficiency, hazard environment it can work, different types of robots, components. So thank you indeed. Thank you very much. I appreciate your nature. Thank you. Now I would like to invite none other than Mr. Akash Bhaban. Please, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Akash sir is awaited.
I think, sir, we can continue.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, please.
I think Akash sir is not responding, so we can continue with the next speaker.
Yeah,
sir?
please, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Pooja ma'am, you can take over now.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you so much, Nahid sir. It's an absolute pleasure to be here on Idym. I am a global family for many of us. It's a great pleasure to listen to the eminent speakers about AI. And as we know, every age has its own scientific discoveries and inventions. But today's scientific advancements can impact globally in a very short time. And such is the progress made in the field of artificial intelligence or AI. The coming era of artificial intelligence will not be the era of war, but the era of deep compassion, non-violence, and love. So to continue with our powerful session of today, I would like to call out our next speaker, an empathetic and a charming personality, Patricia ma'am. Patricia ma'am, the virtual platform is all yours.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thank you so much to IDYM for giving me this opportunity today to discuss and share with other eminent speakers here on artificial intelligence, which I view as technology that was proposed to be incorporated into the world as a plan. And it involves, like what other speakers have already said, it involves designing computers, maybe like what Dr. Patrick said, that mimic human intelligence in speech recognition. And this technology has been used in many aspects of our lives. Then there's a certain branch of artificial intelligence called machine learning, which also involves machines learning tasks and executing them, maybe without requiring any human interference. And we have heard the previous speaker talked about robots, different types of robots, which is part of machine learning. And some examples of artificial intelligence systems include the self-driving cars, like what Dr. Redput said about the Tesla, the face recognition systems, as we see when we go, if I want to apply for a visa right now, if I want to go to Australia, they use what we call biometrics. They use the face recognition systems. Some of them use the fingerprints. So you don't have to stamp your passport They just recognize the face. That's artificial intelligence. And then also voice recognition systems like what the former speaker talked about, Siri. Then we also have what we call automated banking systems, like here in Zimbabwe. We have got chatbots that are used by banks, whereby you can check your balance, you can do anything online using the chatbots. Then we have drones, use of drones, robotics, fingerprint recognition systems, and even traffic lights, whereby you can even wave. We also have televisions or refrigerators, whereby you can just wave and it just lights on. That's part of artificial intelligence. My area mostly is on, I'm an educator, so I wanted to talk about artificial intelligence, where we can use it in the classroom. Because what happens during the COVID-19, which ravaged the entire world, in 2020, there was a real need for a system to be implemented that would ensure maybe, for example, the safe delivery of pharmaceutical products, like our PPEs. Then also in the classrooms we also needed some artificial intelligence, machine learning, whereby children we used technology. In my country, for example, we are still making use of it, but at a slow pace, because we still have that technology gap. However, some organizations are making use of artificial intelligence and they've migrated to using technology, e.g., like I said, use of chatbot by companies, use of biometrics in the healthcare system, whereby it is used to analyze and diagnose images, for example, x-rays, and can even monitor patients using artificial intelligence. For example, on my medical aid card, if I want to buy some medicine, I just go to the shops, to the pharmacy, and then use my fingerprint. It can detect that I'm the correct owner of that medical aid card, and I can get some medicine using that. So there's quite a lot that is happening in e-commerce, online payments. Like if I want to buy a car from Japan, I can just do those online payments. I can send money to India using Stripe. I can send money everywhere in the comfort of my home. And then in the supply and chain, maybe in retail, it can be used also to analyze and identify preferences of shoppers, the shopping habits. How many people have bought this product? So which product can we now buy more? So we can use artificial intelligence. And then artificial intelligence has been used in sports betting, whereby people can bet. That's artificial intelligence. Now, let's discuss how we can use it in education, because when COVID-19 struck, it opened our eyes that we can help our children even when we are at home. And it has found its place in the education sector, and as many schools have woken up to embrace technology. For example, right now, our schools are still being monitored. Our children are still lining up outside the gate, and then we register them. Then I like Dr. Rajput's idea of making use of biometrics. We can use that biometrics to allow our children to go into the classrooms, into the school easily. And we make sure that those are the students that are in our school. For example, last time we had a problem of a lady who was going into the schools undetected. She would go through the security gate system because it's manual. She would go into the classrooms, and we lost about 3 computers, I think, laptops when we closed schools. But making use of artificial intelligence, some schools were able to detect that lady, and she was caught, and she had stolen 19 laptops in the schools, because most of the schools were using manual systems, but some schools that have embraced technology are using artificial intelligence. Some of them use CCTV. We could be able to detect the lady coming in, going into the classroom, stealing the laptop and going out, but it was too late. Then we can make use of artificial intelligence to make our administration work very easy for us. For example, school enrollment, the admission. For example, the software that we use in my school, we use a software called Synetical software. It's more or less like Schoology that is used by some of the schools, whereby you can enroll your children. You can tell easily by the click of a button how many children you have in the school, how many are siblings, how many are boys, how many are girls, how many have been orphaned. It makes administration work very easily. And then we have what we call the communication chatbot, whereby if someone goes into the Synetical software, it pops up and it can easily ask you, what do you want? And you can easily get your feedback there and then. Then artificial intelligence can be used especially for security. Like I said, that some schools we managed to get hold of the lady who was stealing through artificial intelligence. Then in the classroom, the grading of our papers, artificial intelligence can be used to grade for grading purposes, and not only objective answers are graded, but also subjective answers. We've got a software that can mark essays, and it has got a rubric that comes up. That is artificial intelligence. Then, like what other speakers said, like Laura, where she mentioned about gamification and game-based learning, all those are artificial intelligence. It's only that we're using it in our schools, but not many schools are using, and some of it we didn't even know that it is there. Then we have the digital readers that can be used. For example, at our school, we use what we call Odilo. It's an e-library where children can access their books from that e-library. And even our textbooks, it can be custom based, whereby we can also load up all our books and our children can access their textbooks from there, but their security system so that only our children from the school can be able to access those books. Besides that, we have children who are dyslexic. Some of them have got problems in reading. They can also do audio reading using that Odilo system that we use. And then besides that artificial intelligence, we can make also use of interactive games that teach children basic academic skills. For example, we have subscribed to one of it, which is called TT Rockstars for mathematics, whereby children go there every day. We encourage each and every child from our school to go on the website. They can use it for mathematics, even 10 minutes a day. And they collaborate with other schools, and it gives them real-time feedback. And mostly our children want that for motivation, to find out, this time I got a 5, next time I'm going to, it's a motivational also too. Then like what Laura said, we make use also of the immersive reader, especially when we are using the learning management systems like Teams. It has got that immersive reader where we have children who are not able to read. Maybe sometimes they can make use of that one, the immersive reader, and we can also use it for our exam purposes, especially for children who are still lagging behind. It can read for them. Then we have softwares for speech recognition, like the Nuance, for children who also can struggle in reading and also in writing, because we have those students in our classrooms who struggle to read and some struggle to write. So it helps them also to cope up with their work, and it motivates them to do to even excel more. So that's how we are using artificial intelligence. Then at our school as well, like what the former speaker talked about, the types of robotics, the remote controlled, the walking, the what. We have clubs. We've got a club for robotics, whereby children also, right now, as I'm speaking, we are only 4 weeks holiday, but we still have some children who are on a robotics holiday camps. Some of them have gone for drones boot camps, and it teaches children, our students as well, to learn about drones, to learn about aviation. That's a career management plan that we are using. Some children get so much interested that they now know what they want to do in future. Then we catch them young. I can say that we catch them young. They are taught how to fly a drone, and thereby also these robotics and drones camps, they also help our children in collaborative and creative problem skills as well, because they are learning as a group. They are assembling a car as a group. It teaches them to work collaboratively. So this is what I wanted to share with you, how we can use artificial intelligence in the classroom, whereby we can track our students, even the brain waves, like what Dr. Rajput says, the facial expressions, their health, their well-being, their campus presence, and also their academic progress. We can do that through use of artificial intelligence. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Patricia ma'am, for throwing a light on what your school is doing and how education is being impacted by AI. I think we all are like here through AI, we are connected here. So robotics with artificial intelligence in education has increased over last few years. And in these 2 years of COVID, I think we all have been competent enough to use these things more easily, like Zoom or Google Meet or various tools which have been used in the education. And it is beneficial for the teacher as well as for the students also. And the involvement, the individual involvement of the student is really visible. And I think the involvement of AI in the current development as a whole, if we talk about, is inevitable. Thank you so much, Patricia ma'am. It was pleasure hearing you. Moving ahead with the next, moving ahead with our next speaker of today's session, I would like to welcome very inspiring Dr. Raja Rao sir. Raja Rao sir, we welcome you, sir. We are privileged to have you on this platform, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor. I am waiting for my turn. Then I got the call. Really, it's fantastic to see the people whom I like most. Professor Rachna Chakrabarti ma'am, good evening. Rajput sir, salute to you. You are everywhere. You are not just an ordinary person, but you are multi-dimensional personality. Seeing you here, that's so great. Pratik Rajan sir, good evening sir. Pooja Joshi ma'am, thank you for inviting. Patricia ma'am, fantastic job, nice speech. Poonam Gothi ma'am, you have delivered a commendable presentation. Vishal Gupta ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Gupta ma'am, good evening. Elizabeth Lucas ma'am, good evening. Akash brother, good evening. Lara ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
I'm very happy to hear you today. It's a really amazing experience. Then Lara ma'am, Rania ma'am, last but not the least, young dynamic leader, Ravishankar ji. Thank you so much for bringing all these artificial intelligent people, because these people are not an ordinary people with artificial intelligence, superpower. Thank you for bringing all these minds together on this platform. Really, it's fantastic. I'm very happy to share this platform. Whenever I am invited to this platform, I feel that I am an young boy. So that's why today I have a t-shirt. It says that I'm young boy. It gives me that strength. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much. So artificial intelligence, it's a really fantastic subject, because how we use or how we utilize this artificial intelligence, that depends. Because once Elon Musk said the thing that is going to destroy the entire humanity is nothing but artificial intelligence. He said in the context of robotics, in the context of humanoid robots, he said that it is going to erase all humanity if we ignore the side effects of these artificial intelligence. So anyway, the context is good. So he said perfectly, but we should not afraid of this artificial intelligence, because human race is advancing. it's as a part of growing up, this all comes. Actually, you believe it or not, in 2006, I used to withdraw money, 100 rupees from ATM card, from ATM machine. In 2006, I used to withdraw 100 rupee from ATM machine. I feel it's an adventurous task to me. So anyway, after a while, it has become a new normal. Then with the advent of Google Pay, Phone Pay, transferring thousands of rupees has become a simple task. So the technology is changing, we are changing, we are adapting whatever the technology that is coming. Okay, but the thing is, whenever we talk about artificial intelligence, we think of robotics or the humanoid robots as artificial intelligence. It's not. It's an internet. Of course, robots is a part, but it's a totally internet. If we have internet, which means we have artificial intelligence. You know, humans can control every living being in this world. Tigers are more powerful than us. Lions are more powerful than us. Elephants are more stronger than us. And there are so many living beings which are there. They are so stronger, cleverer, taller. So they have so many qualities, better qualities than us. But still, we are controlling all these living beings or living creatures. You know why? Because we are cleverer. Because we are cleverer, so we are dominating the world like anything. Okay, but you know, if we create the artificial intelligence, you know, which is more powerful than us, if it is one or two humanoid robots or whatever that may be, whatever the artificial intelligence we use, that's good. But you know what happens when it exceeds the number? When it exceeds the number, you know what happens? We have to be very careful about that. Because really, I happened to read one story about these humanoid robots. You know, there are two robots which are having a debate. In the debate, they have planned, these two robots have planned to how we can together erase this humanity. That is what they are discussing. And Sophia, we know that that Sophia had given citizenship by Saudi Arabia. You know, they recognized this Sophia robot as a citizen. That's good. But you know, what is the comment by that Sophia? That Sophia herself recognized as a female, and she said that I erase humanity if I get an opportunity. So then one more example, one robot is saying that if at all any opportunity is there, I wanted to access all the nuclear weapons in the world. I wanted to get the access to all nuclear weapons in the world so that I can destroy. So intelligence is good, artificial intelligence is good, everything, okay. But within the limits, everything is good. But see, when something is exceeding, because in a fraction of second, we can take it's a 10,000 part in a second, we can take a decision. But for an artificial intelligence, for a humanoid robot or whatever it may be, whatever AI that is there, in a